What does it mean for a character to have a primal desire?
The primal desire is the thing that connects your audience or your reader to your protagonist. If there is no primal desire, the story, it can't be universally relatable. So primal desire might be justice or connection or purpose or meaning or belonging or acceptance or ambition. But whatever that primal desire is, that's really ultimately your theme. That's what the thing is about. And the thing that's fascinating about the primal desire is that, and this always surprises writers when I'm working with them, and then I see the lights go on, is that the primal desire is shared by every character in your story. The same, all the characters constellate around this primal desire, around this dilemma. And a dilemma is a powerful desire, primal desire, and a false belief, a misperception of how to obtain this desire. So let's say the desire, let's say you got a story about when I get the promotion, then I'll be validated. So the primal desire is validation, and the false belief is the promotion will provide me with this validation. All right, and so when you start to look at how every character in your story shares this primal desire, you start to notice the story starts to become sort of muscular. All the characters, you start to understand what's actually driving them. I'll give you an example. Let's say you've got a married couple and they both want freedom. And one of them believes that freedom comes from being independently wealthy. Then we'll be financially free. The other partner believes that freedom comes from giving up all worldly possessions. And so it's this uniformity of desire, this primal desire, that creates the conflict in your story. And so the more you connect to the primal desire, the more you start to see, and this surprises writers, but the more you look at your story, you go, oh my God, they want exactly the same thing at nature. The more the story starts to come alive in surprising ways.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be like Succession where everybody's vying for like this power and money, but it could be something as small as, you know, just the love for nature or something. It doesn't have to be like a real, one of the 7 deadly sins or something.
Yeah, so the desire for nature would be, I'm trying to think of, if I'm desiring nature, I'm trying to think how that would be primal.
Well, to be at one with the world. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, so maybe it's security. So
or to be a child of the universe.
Belonging. Okay, so that's belonging. I want to feel connected. I want to feel a sense of belonging. And so let's say you've got, so if I'm working with a writer, I'll go, what does the protagonist want? Well, they want to go to nature. Why do they want to go to nature? Because they want to have a sense of belonging, or being at one with the world. So what happens is your subconscious does this naturally. It creates characters. We dream in archetypes. And so your subconscious creates characters in order to best explore your story. We do this unconsciously. There's nothing. And so you'll notice there will be another character in the story that's going to have an antagonistic response to this character wanting to go off and be in nature. Maybe there's somebody in love with this character. And they're like, well, wait a second. If you go off to, you know, you go off in your solitude, I'm going to lose you. And so now your protagonist has a dilemma. I want connection to nature, but I also want connection to this other person that, you know, doesn't want to leave Manhattan. And now there's, you know, there's the potential for a story.
If you are interested in storytelling, you may also like our new book, Story Questions, the sponsor of today's video. It's a story tool that offers you over 1,500 story questions that you can use as story prompts. It's packed with over 40 categories, so whether you are in the brainstorming stages, developing characters, dialogue, or rewriting, it can help you at every stage of the writing process. Think about this statement. Most powerful stories are just great answers to strong questions. We've linked up to story questions in the information section below. Now back to the interview.
And when you say archetypes, are we talking about the Jungian archetypes or?
Well, archetypes are primal forces. And so when you think of a story, when you first start, I'll ask a writer tell me about the character, and they'll sort of look up in the air and then they'll find the character. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's in their imagination, but it begins as an experience. It's not like there's this fully formed character in their mind. That's why I'm not a big fan of character sketches, because character sketches can be reductive. Characters don't exist in a vacuum. Human beings exist in relationship to other characters. There's a book called, I think it's Blank by Malcolm Gladwell, and he talks about how we would like to believe that human beings relate characteristically, but we don't. We relate situationally. So sometimes Bill is a liar, and sometimes Bill is honest. Sometimes Ruth is punctual, and sometimes she's late. So I define drama as characters behaving uncharacteristically. So in the story, a nun robs a bank, or a bank robber saves a child. That's why, going back to what I was saying at the beginning, you have to let go of your idea of who who your characters are in order for the truth of the characters to emerge, because they're not sort of a fixed idea. They are, the more you hold your idea of your characters loosely, the more they can become who you need them to be in order to fully exploit your premise.